I have a problem, and only Capcom can fix it. And that problem is, well, I think SAED is complete and utter dead. And here's why I think there's a few reasons why. I don't want this video to be very long, but I think SAED Chargeblade is very dead. Like compared to Savage X, Savage X is clearly the way they want you to play the weapon, and I'm not really okay with that. What I mean by dead is, clearly dead means like not alive, right? Clearly you can still do SAD spam if you like, but there's a lot more components that go into that, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I think that the weapon was fine, and if we wanted to implement Savage X, then we implemented Savage X as a secondary or tertiary way to play the game, the weapon. But the way it stands now, it seems like Savage X is the first, SAD is the second, and empowering your sword is the tertiary. So, yeah, I think that's just the way they want you to play it. Now, I'm gonna give out some points really quickly. I don't want this video to be very long, like I said, so I'm gonna give out some points. I'm gonna show you some clips on why I think it's dead, and give out my example, my reasoning why. Most monsters nowadays have multiple attacks that just keep going into the combo or the chain, whatever you want to call it, and they'll just keep spamming their attacks over and over and over again. And you have to be patient to block every single one while you're being chipped down low, even with guard 3, guard up 3, and like all that stuff, right? And half the time, if it's zipping around, half the time you won't even like hit it, even with the focus camera, because well, the monster's too fast. So that's one reason, and half another reason as well. Even if you do hit it, half the time the monster's going to flinch, and you're gonna miss out on the like all the ammo actually hitting. And that was like Rathalos, when monsters are enraged, versus not enraged, they still have multiple combos you can do, versus like just doing Savage Axe. You just, flinch the monster once, it's on the ground, and guess what? You got even more damage you can do on the ground because Savage Axe. So you're just racking up damage there. The monster most likely will not flinch because it's not big burst, and it's just, I don't know. I also want to say that you cannot go straight into super amp elemental discharge unless you do a block, a perfect block, or any type of block straight into it. It ends up doing the pseudo discharge, and then you would have to press it again to do the super amped discharge. In the other games that wasn't a thing. When you had your shield, your shield empowered state, it will go straight into it. So even in the empowered shield state, it still doesn't go straight into empty elemental discharge. So my solution for this is that when you have your sword enhanced, maybe it goes straight into discharge, or they just put it back to where it was. And I mean, I've always, if I wanted to do the softer version of the discharge, you just press back on the stick. I don't know why they changed that. It's very dumb in my opinion. But yeah, that's bad for me. I don't like that. Also, the sword mode is barely strong at all. It just boosts, like, it just empowers it and allows you to have like little sparks after the end of your sword hits, and it stops it from being deflected. I mean, personally, this is mid. No one cares about this. I would rather it have like if you empower your sword, it's like a focus, like you build Phials easier. Like, how hard is that to do, to build Phials? And that way, like, if you're going to do the SAD playstyle, you want to empower your sword because you're going to be in sword mode instead of axe mode more. It just makes sense. So please buff sword mode, because right now it doesn't have any spot in the game right now. If they made it to where it built Phials easier, it would help out the new mechanic in the game where you can actually overflow your Phials and get, I think, I don't know the number, but I'm going to guess 40% more damage on your element or impact Phials or whatever. You see the little crown above the Phials? That isn't just a normal Phial. That is a enhanced Phial. That is a Phial that has been charged twice. The way you do that is basically you just charge the Phials twice. So you get red once with no load shells, right? I'm going to assume you don't have load shells. So you get red once, you put it in, you have max Phials. You do it again, and now it has the crown on it because you just double stacked your Phials or whatever. You just overcharged it. I mean, this is another reason why SAED feels clunky because, well, you have to double in order to get the most damage out of your SAED. You have to double charge, so you have to basically reload your thing twice because, or just run load shells and do it once with red. I don't know. It just feels clunky. Also, please, by all means, if you guys don't agree with this, please do put this in the comment section, please, because I don't know. I'm a Chargeblade main, and I usually run SAD and I occasionally do Savage Axe, but I don't know. This SAD in this game just feels terrible. You know, element values aren't it. Speaking of the element values, skills. So we have, they want you to be in sword mode more, so they want you to block more. So tell me why offensive guard doesn't work with element anymore. What's up with that? I don't get it. I don't get the. It could be a bug, could just be not working, could be fixed in the next patch. Who knows, man? But it doesn't work. Offensive guard does not work properly. Rapid morph doesn't seem to increase the damage or work properly either. It does, increase the movements of the transformations, but it doesn't increase the animation of the discharge itself. So you're just stuck in a long animation when these monsters be moving super fast. So, and if you do get a health, they be staggering. So it's just like, what the heck, man? I don't know. I just kept trying to make SAED work. Like, it definitely does something, but it's definitely not as good as it used to be. The game definitely favors Savage X more um than what you call it, SAED. Like Savage X, you can, like, if you make a mistake after a hit, you just press R2, you go straight into sword mode, and the last like animation of the D transformation is like a block, so like you're basically safe. Savage X it deals a lot more damage. Like, Savage X is just better right now, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not. I want element. Chargeblade is an element weapon, and I want it to be the king of element. It's one of the harder weapons in the game, and I want it to be one of the best of element. Anyways, see ya.